Good afternoon, folks. This is Carlton with Carlton's Travel Adventures. How you doing? Another beautiful day in Medellin, and the stock market is doing great. Close to all-time high. I think yesterday the S&P might have hit all-time high, and it's flirting with the Dow was flirting with a high yesterday and today. I think it might have closed at 26,720, somewhere around there today. So this is when you get a lot of guys that want to come in. And they ask me for advice. What would you do? What would you invest in? These are usually people that's never been in the market before, or they had a bad experience, and they see what's happening. People 401k is getting double, and they're doing really well. The news is out there. People are talking about how well they're doing. So now people want to get in. It's the worst time to get in. I just don't like that. Okay? But call me for advice. I got to talk to them. So people want to know, they ask me some questions on my email especially. How can I get in the market? What can I do? Can I make some money? Give me some advice about the market. Some instrument to invest in. And I'm really hesitant to do it right now because most of these guys, if you're not in the market, don't understand the market very well. You jump in when it's high, and then a year from now, year and a half from now, when it goes down, it always goes down eventually. It's a cycle. Then they lose some money on paper, then they panic and they sell. I'll tell you a quick story. I knew this family, ladies like a mom to me, and years ago, she'd asked me to give her some advice on investing some money in the market. She got like $10,000 from an insurance policy or something. And her 3 kids were not in the market. They don't understand the market. They had high school diplomas. And so she came to me, which makes sense. I know what I'm talking about. So I gave her some advice, invested some money in certain things. And some that gave her some good, dividends, which is a little older. And I always warn people, be careful. It's going to go down eventually. Just write it out. It's only on paper unless you sell it. And what happens? It did go down. That guy predicted, but people don't hear that later on. They never hear it later on. 4 or 5 years later, when the market goes down, or even 2 years later, and they hear when you told them it could go down, just sit tight, don't panic. So what do they do? Then you start talking to your kids about it. Carlton invested me in this thing, and here it goes, I lost $5,000, and then it gets tricky. So the kids are talking to you about it. So then they sell and lose the $5,000, and that's the worst thing in the world. I don't want to lose more than 5, so I'd have to sell. That's the worst thing to do. And people don't understand the market. That's what they do. So it's tough for me to advise people now to get in the market. And also, I've heard some comment just kind of rubbed me the wrong way about people telling me the stock market is rigged. You can't make any money because it's rigged. I heard that from one subscriber. Another subscriber told me, a 401k is BS. It doesn't make any sense. All you do is lose money in a 401k. You go again, I hear these comments. I guess he knew somebody who had a 401k and they got wiped out. Usually what happens, if you dig more, you find out to the companies where the employees only invest in that one company stock. They put all their 401k in that one company stock. And some 401 plans do have you invest in a certain portion or, initially or whatever in that company stock. And what happens if a company does really bad? You wiped out. Of course, you wiped out. I think when I worked at Wachovia, you had to invest a certain portion in the company stock. But you can diversify it later on, okay? So I get it. So people have one bad experience, and all of a sudden 401k is a bad thing, the market's a bad thing, they just don't understand it. So it's tough. So anyway, let me give you some advice. What I'm going to do here is just tell you some things to do. Give you some options, right? Let's say I have $1,000 now, I can do that to $10,000, whatever. You're not familiar with the market. Let's give you some things to research. I'm not going to babysit you and tell you all the details about each thing I'm going to talk about. It's something to do some research and see what's best for you. I'm going to lead you in the right direction. I told you about drips originally. These are some other options, okay, besides drips. Do your research on them on the internet and then make your decision. Good enough? I'm going to lead you in the direction. It's up to you to do your research. okay? Only way to learn is to do your research. You gotta do your research. I'm gonna give you some places to look. Go on the internet, Google these items, and then read about them. And then try to make a choice based on what your risk tolerance is, okay? All right, so look up index funds, okay? Index funds, usually low-cost funds. Just type it in, read all about it. You've got to spend some time, a month or so, just researching all these items. So it's going to educate yourself about all these items, okay? Index funds. Next one you can look up is target date funds. These are funds based on when you plan to retire. In other words, if you're going to retire in 5 years, they'll give you a set amount of, recommend a set amount of bonds versus stock, etc. in that fund, okay? If you're going to retire in 10 years, that target date fund might have certain portion of, will have different portion of stock, bonds, etc. You're going to retire in 15 years, 20 years. Usually, the longer you're going to retire, the more stock they'll have. The closer you're going to retire, to have more bonds because it's less risky. Okay, so look up target date funds. Some research. Okay, all right. Look up ETF, exchange traded funds. All right, look them up. And some of these usually have a certain minimum to get in. So if you have $1,000, you might not be able to get in some of these funds I'm discussing. But look up the minimum. Some will have 1,000, some will have 3,000. Look up ETFs, exchange traded funds. All right. And try to stick with the non-transaction fee funds. I don't want a transaction fee when I do anything. And I know I'm not pushing to get Vanguard. I'm not getting paid by Vanguard. But I know Vanguard have a lot of good funds. This is my experience. Other companies do too. You have to do your research though, and we should have the lowest cost, expense ratio, etc. They'll tell you. Vanguard is known to traditionally have one of the lowest expense ratios for their funds. All right. Look at non-transaction fee funds. Make sure you don't have to pay a transaction fee to buy these things or whatever. All right, important. Okay, and that bullshit about 401k being bad. 401ks are the best thing you can ever invest in, especially over a long-term period. Go invest in your 401k from your 21. Start your first job. Invest in your 401k. I don't care if the market is high as hell it is right now. Dow Jones giving a record, S&P a record. Go invest in your 401k. The company is giving you 2 to 6% free money. That thing builds up over 20, 30, 40-year period. So invest in your 401k. Make sure you do that. All right. And the stock market ain't rigged. I'm not even going to touch that comment. Okay. You have Roth IRAs. You can do some Roth IRA. You can have your traditional IRA. Stick a little money in the Roth. Do some research. Read up on the Roth IRA. Not a regular IRA, a Roth IRA. Okay? Do that. Even some companies, look at your company, they can have a regular 401k and like a Roth 401k, similar to a Roth 401k. Okay? Look it up. You can take your money out faster. Your money is just going to build without any kind of paying any taxes on it until you pull it out. All right? Look this up. Robo Advisor, okay? These are digital investment platforms. Do you have enough to hire an investment advisor, a financial advisor rather? They have Robo Advisor. They'll give you a recommendation based on, like a tool. So look at Robo Advisor. Do your research, learn about that, okay? Good choice for you. Here's a big one. Some of you like real estate, but you said, I have the money to invest in real estate. It costs too much. I can't go buy a property, myself. I don't have enough money to do that. Consider a REIT, R-E-I-T, REIT. Look up REIT, okay? It's a way for you to invest in real estate without actually having to go out and buy one property. The different types of REITs. REIT for shopping centers, and so forth. But look up REIT. Do your research. Read about REITs. Put some money in REITs, real estate. All right. Another one people really don't know about a lot. Ask people about this and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Is peer-to-peer lending. You can make money on this. Just do your research on peer-to-peer lending. You can invest as little as $25, I think, and get some nice returns peer-to-peer lending, okay? That's enough for you to start with. If you gotta replay this, replay it, all right? Take some notes down and do your research before you invest, right? See what's best for you, or pick one or two items what's best for you, okay? So the thing is, you call me, you want advice, I can't just give you advice, you know? If I write me a letter and say, give me some advice, this is my age and what's what I want to do. I don't know how much you have right now. I don't know what your risk tolerance is, so I'm happy to give you advice, especially if you sit in person, but you know, you got to find out more about the person. What's your risk tolerance? What do you know about the market? Are you going to be panicking when the market goes down next year? Okay, are you a long-term investor? Are you 40 versus 55, 60? Or you're 30? I love those guys that are 25, 30, 22, right out of college, you know. That's where you need to start. 22, 23, that's where I started. That's where you need to learn, spend a year reading all about the market, some investment magazines, investment articles. There's so much stuff on the internet about investments, right? When you're right out of college, guys, this is a good time to start saving your money. You're amazed how much money you'll have in 25 years, okay? Right? Before you're 50, imagine that. You start saving when you're 23, okay? And add 25 years to that. My math said you're not even 50 yet, you could have a ton of money. The market's gonna go down, but it's gonna come back up, okay? People my age, when the market's so high right now, because your 401k is big, if it starts to tank, pull some off. Pay your taxes, pull some off. Or if you have a bunch in your 401k and it's in equity, your IRA is in equity, pull some off the table. There's no tax involved. Okay. Another thing is people worry about paying taxes. You know, don't worry about paying taxes. You pay taxes when you make money. All right. Nothing worse than I did the same thing back in the dot-com days when people were making, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on paper, right? We never sold it, wrote it back down to nothing. Don't do that. If you made 100,000 profit and the market's starting to turn, take the profit, pay your damn taxes. Nothing wrong with paying taxes. I tell people all the time, I can't wait for the day I pay $1 million in taxes. I look forward to that day. Yes, I do. Tell you what, I can't wait till the day I pay $10 million in taxes. That's right. I would love to pay $10 million in taxes this year. I would love it. You can't figure out why I say that? Something's wrong with you. I would love to pay $10 million in taxes this year. I would do it happily too. Very happily. I'll call my buddy up and say, look, yo Joseph, man, I gotta pay $10 million in taxes. I'm so happy. He's gonna say, what the hell are you talking about? You're gonna be happy about doing that? Damn right I'd be happy about doing that. You know what that meant? Most of you figured know what I'm talking about. You know? So don't worry about paying taxes. You're in a capitalist country, you're gonna pay your taxes anyway. Alright? So take your profit, pay your taxes before you wipe it all out. Okay? When I worked for a bank, I won't say the name of the bank, in Orlando, this investor, real estate guy, a lot of money, and a lot of real estate in Orlando. He sold a company to Yahoo. Made a ton of Yahoo stock. Took the Yahoo stock. That's back in the day when Yahoo was just taking off. And the dude wanted to buy a baseball, team. That's his dream, to buy a baseball team. So he had millions in Yahoo stock. It was going up. The bank tried to sell him a collar. A collar. Look it up what a collar is, okay? To protect him, his downside. Refused to do it. He said, man, it's going to keep going up, it's going to keep going up. Because the collar can limit your upside potential too. Upside and downside. But it limits your downside so you won't lose all your money. But it does limit your upside. That's why it's called a collar. And he refused to buy the collar. You know what happened? Yeah, when the market tanked, Yahoo went down to almost nothing. He lost millions. His wife was pissed at him. You know, look at the story of Mark Cuban. You know, he protected himself. You know, when he made all that money from his sold at broadcast.com. You can't be greedy. You cannot be greedy. You know, this guy was greedy, wanted to make billions and buy a baseball team. That was his dream. And then he ended up wiping out all his Yahoo stock. Didn't want to buy a simple collar for his investment. When you have that much exposure to one stock, it's best to get a collar to protect yourself. Okay? Anyway, it's a little story for today. And investing is great. You know, you're not going to work for your boss for that many years and then get wealthy doing it. You're not going to do it. Most of you won't do it. And very few of you that's in, you know, the top 1% of, you know, income, making $1 million a year, can probably get wealthy working. And most people, you make 100,000, you make 300,000, you make 400,000 maybe. There's an article about a couple in San Francisco who made 400,000 combined. They had a hard time making it in San Francisco. That's right. Yeah, look it up. They had a hard time making it in San Francisco. 400,000 a year in combined income. You know, I can get wealthy just working for somebody. You know, like one of my subscribers says, you can go business for yourself. You can invest. You got to invest in various things. And people bitch about, you know, Forex. You know, what I hate too is those naysayers. You tell somebody something, and right away they're cutting you down. Oh, that's bullshit. That doesn't work. Maybe it didn't work for you. Okay? Don't tell other people, especially on my channel. You know, that's why I don't go into so much specifics sometimes about some of the things I'm doing. It's always going to find a few of you out there that's going to just knock any idea down. Okay? So you tried something, it didn't work. It didn't work for you. Maybe you weren't smart enough. Maybe you didn't have enough dedication and stick to it for a year. You know, people want to get rich in 6 months. It doesn't work, and they lose some money in 6 months, and they go, "Ah, it doesn't work." So you bring it up to somebody in a group, and they go, "Oh, that's bullshit. That doesn't work. It didn't work for you." You know, working for somebody else. I know people right now that's in various different items they're into, stuff that you wouldn't even think of, and it's working for them. They've done it for years, making $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month, and various little items they're working on. I can tell you about, I'm not going to go into them right now. There's always going to be somebody out there that's going to knock whatever you say, right? Don't be around those people. I'm serious. Dump those friends. Dump those friends. If I tell a friend about something and right away he's telling you everything negative about it. Maybe you tried it, maybe you heard it, maybe you heard something bad about it. You read one article bad about it. Everything's bad about it. Nothing positive. If they tried something and it didn't work, who's to say you won't try it and it'll work for you? Maybe you just have that knack, the instinct for this one thing that's going to work for you. And they didn't have the instinct. They didn't have the smarts. They didn't have the drive that you had to study like crazy and study this item and make sure you do well at it. You know, what worked for one person won't work for the other person. Sometimes you got to fail and try 3, 4, 5 things before you find one thing that's good for you and you succeed in it. Okay? So one thing you'll never give up and never tell somebody else, you know, not to do something because you had a bad experience with it. Do not do it. I've never do that. I tell people, give it a try. Maybe it'll work out for you. Give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a year. You know, give it 2 years. Some things take time. But do not just give up after 3 or 4 months and then tell everybody else, you know, it doesn't work. It's not good. It's a lot of bullshit. Just don't do that. You know, if somebody starts doing it on my channel, I delete the comments. And I might even block you because you cannot, you know, make negative comment and turn other people off of things that because you may have failed on doing something. You know, encourage people, encourage everyone that asks you a question, tell them things and encourage them to try different things. You might try 2 things and fail, and bam, that 3rd thing you try, it works. It works. You know. And that one person might tell you it didn't work for him, but it worked for you. Okay? Never give up. Keep trying. I'm going to encourage you to keep doing it. You're gonna make it if you try. Keep trying different things. All right? And for subscribing, have a beautiful day. Go make some money. Not root of all evil, man. It isn't.